Hey everybody, I'm James Melzer with MovieWeb, and today I am so excited to be talking to my fellow Canadians, director Caitlin Cronenberg and actors Jary Baruchel and Emily Hampshire to discuss their new film Humane, which hits theaters on April 26th. And man, what a film it is. It was absolutely fantastic. Caitlin, I want to
Thank
start
you.
with you. Yes, I want to start with you, Caitlin, because this was your first feature film, and man, you knocked it out of the park. It was so good. But you got to have a reunion, I guess, of sorts on this movie because you got to collaborate with Michael Sparaga, your longtime friend and colleague. So I guess what was it about his script that made you say, yeah, this is going to be my first feature film? Was there a specific moment while you were reading it, or was it the overall story that you were interested in?
I think it was a bit of both. I think it was essentially the theme and just generally what this very original, unique idea was. I love this, sort of alternate present where you could really imagine that this is going on in the world. And I've never read anything like it. And it really appealed to me that within this chaotic world, there is this tight family dynamic. Which is something that I really like to watch. As I was reading it, I said to myself, I would want to watch this film, and that I want to now talk about it for 5 years. And
Right.
that's pretty much what gets me is can I talk about this for 5 years? Can I also cast my friends and like just have a really, really good time?
Mhm.
Um, that part I didn't know at the time, but yeah.
I loved it. I turned to my wife after we finished watching it and I said, if Shirley Jackson were alive today and she made a film of the lottery, this is what it would be like. It was so
You're
good.
right.
Awesome. Thank
That's a great call. That's a
you.
really great call.
Emily Hampshire, your performance in this as Rachel York was wonderful. I found myself wanting to hate you and agree with you all at once. The character, it was so good. But I read that after Schitt's Creek, you had some projects going on, but you were looking to take a bit of a break. But then Caitlin came to you with Humane, and poof, there went your break. Um, but you've been around a while. You've been directed by a lot of people. Did you have any trepidations going into this, knowing it was with a first-time director? And what were your experiences working with Caitlin?
So the truth is, Caitlin texted me and said, "Will you be in my movie?" And I right away said yes, because I'm a good friend. But also, Caitlin's been a photographer, has done like visually. I think she knows what she's doing. Um, and then I read the script, and I just thought it was amazing. And it's very much a tone that I love. I love family, sibling things. I love anything where adults can go with their kid instinct. Um, but I just remember very clearly Jay and I, who have worked together a lot and have known each other for years, it was the end of the first day, and we were in the van going back, and we were like, phew, thank God she's good, because Caitlin like killed it on her first day. And there was that little fear of your friend being not a great director. Like, what would happen? And so, yeah, thank God she was amazing. And there wasn't doubt until there was a little like, what if? And
Mhm.
yeah, so it was great.
That's fantastic. Jay Baruchel, honestly, one of the great character actors of this generation. Love your work. And I'm a fellow Ottawan. I was born in Ottawa as well. But the character of Jared York, I guess, what resonated for you with the character that made you feel, yeah, this is something I can sink my teeth into? Or was it the overall story that you were more interested in as well?
That's a lovely question. I don't rightly know, to be honest, because when you enjoy reading a script, it's kind of hard to. It's all part of the ride. And so I don't know if like when I loved it when it was done, did I love the story or did I love the guy that I would get to play, or was it some version of all of it? But yeah, I think I dug the world. Michael wrote a lovely script that had some, I think, worthwhile things to say. I've gotten along with Caitlin like a house on fire forever, and to get to be part of her first feature was exciting. And Yeah, and any chance to work with Emily, who you know, I one of my dear friends and one of my favorite kind of collaborators, and so all of these things seem like it just was like a pretty quick yes for me.
That's awesome. And the setting, Ravenscliff Castle there in Hamilton was absolutely
Good.
beautiful. Uh Caitlin, how did you guys scout that? What was like, I know you didn't want to build the set, you had a limited amount of time. Uh did it take you long to settle on Ravenscliff?
It did not take long once we found it. There was
Yeah.
a moment, I'm trying to think back to the whole process, but we had amazing scouts. We were looking at some pretty impressive houses. And that one, I mean, it more than ticked all the boxes. One thing that we knew that we needed was a kind of foyer area, a gathering place that a lot of the action was going to take place in. And Michael originally wrote the script for a Georgian colonial layout, which would have been a center hall home, and then you go both directions. And we couldn't find something like that that was suitable. And then when we found Ravenscliff, it was just a no-brainer. We drove up, and the first thing Michael said was, you just know that bad things happen here."
Yeah,
Uh, it's definitely haunted. It's just that kind of vibe. And I think that something happened. It fell through, and we were still looking at other places, and then nothing felt right. And we just said, we have to get it. We have to go back and get it. And then the rest is history. But it was the first place, it was the first character cast in the film was that house.
that's fantastic. It very much felt like a character. It felt like it felt like the Yorks could live there. It was awesome. All right, I know my time is limited. I gotta ask, Emily, my last question for you. I know Jay's directed before. This is Caitlin has now directed. Any aspirations from you for sitting in the director's chair in the future?
You know what's funny? I didn't have any aspirations to direct. I always feel like I know so many great directors, and friends of mine who are amazing, and I would feel like, I don't know, a dilettante doing that. And then this weird thing happened recently where I've worked kind of back to back with female directors, and I have to say, there is something about seeing it being done. I'm from a generation where, like, there weren't any. There was two, and it does make you think you can do it. You can do it too. So I'm not sure yet, but like the fact that I can see the possibility in it where I didn't before because I thought no one would take me seriously because
Mhm.
I'm a girl.
That's lovely. That's good on
So
you. That's
you'd be
lovely.
great. I believe in you.
Yeah, you,
There you go. You got the support of your peers. Guys, I really appreciate your time. Humane, it's an absolutely wonderful film. Hits theaters
thank
April
you.
26th. Caitlin, I guess I'll just close with you. Congratulations, and I really look forward to seeing what you do in the future. Thank you.
So much. It's so kind of you. Thank you.